Hello, everyone. My name is Arthur Govin. I am the Partnership Coordinator at the Next Street Driving School. I'm here today to do a new driver webinar. So basically, we're going to go over just what it takes to get a license in Connecticut. Just as a quick breakdown, it's pretty much 2 steps, or 3 steps really. You need to get your permit. You need to do driver's ed, and then you need to actually go and test for your license. So I'm going to go through all that today, what it actually looks like, what you're looking for, how we can help you, and answer any questions that you might have. I did see a question already on our YouTube that asked if we could do a video on what to do and what not to do when you're pulled over, and that is a great suggestion. I would love to get someone in here who's an expert and help us out with that. So that is definitely a really good suggestion, and don't be surprised if in a few weeks we do something about that. We did, in our insuring a new driver video, we did touch on it, but it's more about what happens when you get into an accident. So it's a little bit different. So yeah, that is a really good suggestion. I will be seeing if we can do that in a few weeks. At any time, please put your questions in the chat. I'm really happy to answer anything. If I don't cover something today, just don't hesitate to ask. I'll be looking at the chat all day on both Facebook and YouTube. So yeah, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so let's get started. Right before we get started, just a couple of plugs. Follow us on all of our social medias. It's at the Next Street on everything. We have some really good content that we post pretty much daily. Our TikTok is really a great place to look if you are just learning how to drive and you want some easy maneuver breakdowns. Our YouTube channel has a lot of maneuvers too. And then Instagram's a really good way to keep up with any giveaways that we do, which we do pretty regularly. Next month, we're going to do another round of driver's ed trivia. So if you missed out on that the last time we did it in the summer, then there's going to be another opportunity then. So look out for that. Follow us on Instagram for more details about that. All right, so without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so we're going to start on the Next Street website. This is where you're going to see this beautiful picture of me. We'll actually go back to that and admire it in all its glory. I don't want to say that I'm, model material, but, there's a reason why I'm on the on the Facebook on the landing page. So, all right, before I get too in my own head, let's get started. So, first thing you need to do is get your permit. This is the one thing that you can't really do at our locations or with us as a school. You have to go through the DMV in order to get your permit. But what we do offer is free practice permit tests, as well as a good page that has a lot of stuff. So if you want to go, and bear with me, my keyboard's being a little difficult today. Next Street, yeah, perfect. /permit. So if you go to thenextstreet.com/permit, it's going to bring you to this page, which has 4 really helpful links that I'm going to go through today. The first one is obviously how to actually schedule your learner's permit test. So when you click on this, it's going to bring you to the DMV website, which you have to schedule it on the DMV website. Again, that's really the only thing you can't do through us. You have to do it on the DMV. So what's going to happen is, and if you are having any questions throughout this, at the end of this segment, I'll go over any permit questions, and then we'll keep going from there. So if you want to schedule your knowledge test, which is exactly what we're looking for, learner's permit knowledge test, you would click this, and then it's going to bring you to this page. That's going to ask you a bunch of questions, just all your relevant information, and then you would put that in, and then what's going to pop up is a big calendar. I can't show you the page, obviously, because I have to put in like my social security and stuff like that, and Not looking to have anyone steal my identity today. So, yeah, it's going to come up with a big uh, calendar that's going to have all sorts of dates that you can pick from. Now, the DMV, I don't know how many of you know, but the DMV right now is pretty backed up with license tests, permit tests, pretty much everything. Um, Everything that you could think of, the DMV is pretty backed up with. So really try to schedule out your permit test. You can take your permit test the day you turn 16. So I would look 3-4 months earlier before you turn 16, register for that test, and then study from there. But get that date on your calendar as soon as you can because it's going to help you in the end. And if you are 16 and don't have your permit yet, schedule it now because it's only, I mean, it doesn't look like this problem's going to get better anytime soon with how far backed up they are. So just try to schedule your stuff out as soon as possible. So that is how you actually schedule your test. And then once your test is scheduled, you're going to need to know actually what's going to be on the test. But one of the really awesome things that we offer is the Connecticut Learner's Permit Prep Ebook, which I'm going to fill out my information. You just give some of your info, and we're going to say info@thenextstreet.com right now. And then I'm a prospective student. I am under 18, we'll say, and I don't have a date scheduled yet, so I'm not even going to bother. And now you would click this, and then you're going to download, and what's going to pop up is this ebook here. Now you can either just bookmark this and have it for whenever you need it, or you can actually download it, print it out. And this has some really good information in it, a guide to getting your permit, and then it also has where you can actually test for your permit, as well as, you know, some other great things like, where is it? Oh, yeah, which this is a really helpful little guide here, which is all of the acceptable proofs of residency, which when you take your permit test, you need, well, let's see. The things that you need in order for you to be able to be identified to take your permit test is a primary document, so either a passport or a birth certificate, and then you need two letters, so 2 pieces of mail that have your current address on it, and then you'll need your glasses because you're going to take your vision test that day, as well as the actual, you know, what you actually need, the payment for actually taking the permit test. So this is a really helpful guide. If you are interested in learning more about how to actually get your permit, we have a whole webinar on this on our YouTube channel, and it's just all about what the actual step-by-step process for getting your permit is. So you've downloaded the ebook. The other thing that you're going to definitely want to download is the actual driver's manual. So the Connecticut issued driver's manual is going to be found on the DMV website, and you go over to learner's permit. It's really finicky. And then you go over to driver's manual, and then you download the English or Spanish version. It's going to pop up. It's going to look like this. Definitely not as pretty as our ebook. It's also much longer. There's 60 pages. But this is a really helpful guide. I know it looks pretty daunting, but go through this a couple times, especially with some of the laws like the seatbelt laws and the drug and alcohol laws. Those are really important and are definitely going to show up on your test, as well as some signage and all this stuff. So this is a great page to look at, which has all the different fines and suspensions for when you do something wrong. There's usually a question or two on the test about that. So go through this guide. I would try to study it once or twice. And look, there's even some blank pages at the end, so you don't have to get too worried about it. And just know that if you skim this or if you go through it and then skim it for a second time, you can really get a lot out of it and use this as a study guide. And then another great way to be ready for your permit test is by taking practice tests. We offer those on our website. Again, you would just fill out a couple things. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then city Stanford. I'm a prospective student under 18. No, I haven't scheduled my permit test. So then I'm going to submit this, and it's going to bring me to this page, which is actually the questions. They're pulled straight from the DMV website, and it's a little bit easier to navigate on our website. And there's just endless practice permit tests that you can take. Again, in our permit test webinar, there's really good information about that. So just make sure that you are looking at this stuff. And then, keep doing these tests. We recommend that if you pass 5 times in a row, you're looking pretty good for your test. So that's getting your permit. Let me look. Before I move on. So that's the first step. You get your permit. And then the next step I will go through after I answer a question. So can a teen driver with a permit use a phone for navigation only? I know that you are not to use it for anything else, but I'm not sure about this one. Okay, so college spam letters are totally fine as long as it has your name and it was shipped through. Just to clarify, the question was, are college spam letters valid for proof of residency? Yes. As long as it has your address, your name, and it's been through the postal service and has the stamp. But back to this question, no, you cannot use your phone for navigation if you are on your permit. The reason for this, there's a couple reasons. One, you can't have any screen. And I know it might seem a little bit ridiculous because it's like, oh, I'm just using this for a map. But it works 2 different ways. One, no matter what, even if you are just using it as a map, your eyes are being taken off the road, which it can be very dangerous, especially for a new driver or an inexperienced driver. And also, hopefully you're not going to too many places where you need you actually need the directions to get to. That's kind of what it's trying to prevent, is for you to go places that you need directions for and to keep you in more familiar places while you're still a newer driver. So no, you can't even use your phone for navigation. Okay, so we did the permit. So now we've done everything. We signed up. We took our practice permit tests. We downloaded both the ebooks. We're ready to go. Now we have to actually enroll. So if you want to enroll, what you would do is you'd go to our homepage. You'd click enroll. And then it's going to bring you to this page, which has a lot of information about what the classes are actually like, where our locations are, our flexible and affordable prices, and the flexible schedules. So the way that you would do it online, the way you do it by the phone is obviously you would call, and then you can have one of our great licensing guides talk you through the process and get you signed up over the phone. Now, if you want to get it done very quickly, all you would have to do is enroll online. So we're going to click this. There's another great webinar that we did about navigating the online classes and your student portal. So just make sure that you check that out too if you have any additional questions on how to sign up online and what your student portal is like after you get it. So if you're just signing up, you would just put in your zip code, and then you would do, I'm going to do within 10 miles. I live in Stanford, so I know that there's a couple places that I could go. February 5th, that's my actual birthday. Please keep that in mind. And then you'd get to here, which will have a list of all the different options. So we, even in this few mile radius, have 7 different locations that I could go to in order to do my licensing. Now, because all of the actual classroom training is done online, you don't have to worry too much about where you're going in to do your classroom training. But whatever location out of these that I pick will be where I do the pickups and drop-offs for my actual behind-the-wheel training. Now, you can change these. So if, say, you do it at Stanford High School, but then for some reason that's just not really a great place to do pickups and drop-offs, but, Greenwich, the next street, is a better place, then you can always make your lessons at Greenwich. But definitely try to book your lessons as soon as possible. Those usually book generally like 6 to 8 weeks out, which is fine, but just book them as soon as you get your permit and you'll be ready to go. So I'm going to click Stanford, the next street. That's over on Summer Street. It's about 5 minutes from my house. And then I'm going to pick one of these. So I'm going to do the full driver's ed bundle, which comes with the 30 hours of classroom training and then the 8 hours of actual behind-the-wheel training. I always recommend doing as much behind-the-wheel training as you can because, there's a lot that have changed. And when your parents go out and do behind-the-wheel training with you, they might not be totally aware of some of the updates that have happened with the DMV. So they might not know everything and all the new laws and what the DMV is actually looking for. That's why it's always best to just take as many lessons as you can. And if you do the full course, you get the 4 lessons, and then you'll be a lot more ready for your road test. We have a lot of students that say that they're teaching their parents things when they go home, which the parents, don't always love, but I think it's a good thing if students are like trying to help out their parents and say like, hey, you probably shouldn't be rolling through the stop sign, because hopefully we're creating a little bit more safe drivers. So another great thing about the full driver's ed course is that through most insurance companies, you get a discount if you complete the full driver's ed course. Now, when you'll see in the Insuring a New Teen Driver webinar, which is another one that we have on our YouTube channel. I know a lot of plugs, but this is why we go into detail about all these different things. But insuring a new teen driver is very expensive. So anything you can do, like taking your driver's ed course, your full driver's ed course, is going to save you money in the long run. So we always recommend doing that. And then you can also do the 1, 2, 3 bundle, which comes with a license test as well. But we're going to do this for now. And then what's going to happen is it's going to find me a bunch of different options for my classes. So we have classes starting as soon as September 23rd. That's today. So I could jump in this class today at 8 p.m. And I could just start my driver's ed right away. Literally today. Or I could do it at 5:30, a half hour after this webinar, I could be taking driver's ed. It's really we have that many options for students that are available. And so just take advantage of it. We have a lot of different schedule options, including the weekends, which might work better for some students. So just look at this. These are all available at every location. So if you can't start till January 6th, start then. But we are booking classes all the way out to December 9th. And, we have classes as soon as tomorrow or today. So book your class through here. Select whichever one makes sense to you. After you select this, it's going to bring you to a page that's going to talk about payment, which obviously we're not going to go through. But basically, it's just, you put your information in. And then it's going to ask you for payment as you move forward. So that is how you actually sign up for driver's ed. Let's see, before I move on. How soon can you schedule your road practice and driver's test? So, okay, if you have your permit when you sign up for driver's ed, you can schedule your behind the wheel practice and your driver's test immediately. So you can schedule it as soon as you sign up, and then it'll probably be. It's generally like a 4-month period of taking your license test. I mean, of before you take your license test from when you start driver's ed. So if you go right away, book your driving behind the wheel lessons and your driver's test right away, then it's as soon as you sign up. If you don't have your permit, though, however, you can't sign up for your actual road test. You need a permit number in order to sign up for your road test, as well as your behind the wheel lessons. So that's why we always recommend getting your permit as soon as you turn 16. That way you don't have to wait to sign up for any of these classes. Which does actually bring me to another point about the full driver's ed class that I was just talking about. The other big advantage is that instead of a 6-month wait from when you get your permit to when you can test for your license, it's only a 4-month wait. So you get your permit today. I will be eligible to test as long as I've done my course by January. So it's only a 4-month wait if I do the full class, and it's a 6-month wait if I only do the 8-hour class. So that's another advantage. Hope that answered that. And then we're going to move on to basically the final step. So we have now done our classes. By the way, just to give you a little bit of an idea of what the classes are like, they are 2-hour sessions. So the online class training is generally 2 days a week, unless you do it on the weekends. Then it's 2 sessions on Saturday or 2 sessions on Sunday. But it's usually 2 days a week, and you do a 2-hour session, and it's basically you're learning about different laws. Every class has a little bit of a different theme, so you learn a lot about different safety measures that you have to take, as well as just understanding your vehicle a little bit better, different defensive driving tactics, signage, laws. Everything is on there. So you really get a full breadth of knowledge when it comes to you actually being out on the road. So it's 15 2-hour classes for the full course, and you get those done. Usually it takes about 8 weeks, and then you would take your actual behind the wheel lessons. The behind the wheel lessons are 2 hours. They're 2-hour sessions again, and you can, and they each lesson, if you do all 4, has a different theme. The first one is more basic driving skills. Then it gets to more and more complex, all the way to the last lesson where you're going on the highway, you're doing lane changes, parallel parking, all that stuff. So it's a really good, it's like a nice step-by-step kind of learning process where with the first lesson, you get a lot of good information, and then you go and practice, and then you do the second lesson, and then you go and practice, third lesson, blah, blah, blah. That's why I always recommend spacing them out as best you can. That way you are practicing different things as you go. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically how the classes work. Is there 2-hour sessions for the classroom training and 2-hour sessions for the behind the wheel training. And then when you're done with that, you can actually test for your license. So when I want to actually test for my license, usually I would have that scheduled on my, in my, on my student portal. But if not, I would go to thenextstreet.com/license. So this is a really great page that gives you a lot of information about your license test, that if you go down through each one of these, it gives you all the different things, all the different options, and how to schedule, all that stuff. So if you're testing at one of our locations, by the way, no surprise, we have a license testing webinar that goes through every step of license testing. So check that out too on our YouTube if you want to know more about the intricacies of what the license test is actually like. Um, so, yeah, basically, you could sign up if you're testing at one of our locations, and you would sign up online or when you sign up with us on the phone, and you pick a date, pick a place, and that is the best way to do it. Now, right now, as I was talking about before, the DMV is very backed up with a lot of things. So book your license test as soon as you can. It's just going to be your best bet because there's going to be a long wait. Right now, it's generally a 5-month wait or more to actually test for your license. So really just schedule it as soon as possible. Hold on. Before I move forward with the license testing, I got a couple questions. Okay, so I have a question. My son signed up and took the classes. His next step is to take his permit and then go driving with you all. Do the driving classes expire? Not at all. So you can wait as long as you can. The one thing that does expire is his permit. But if he doesn't have it yet, the driving classes never expire. So you can hold on to that for as long as you want. I would obviously recommend doing it sooner rather than later. But no, it does not expire. And then I live in New Britain. I have done one lesson. Need to know when my next lesson is. Oh, in New Britain. Oh, okay. So if you want to know when your next lesson is, you have two options. You can actually check your student portal, which is on, which you should have been given a login when you signed up. And then when you actually, or you could call and, ask as well. So it's up to you. You can either call us or check your student portal if you're confused about when your next lesson is. And then my son did like 15 2-hour sessions and we paid for 8 hours of driving. Do they expire? No. So again, like I said, the classes do not expire, but the permit does expire. So that's why as soon as you get the permit, sign up for those classes. Excuse me. Okay. So back to license testing. You have a couple choices. You can either test at our location, which I always recommend. I actually started out as a license testing host, which is basically a fancy word for, motivational speaker before you take your license test. I would come in and kind of calm you down. You'd come to one of our locations, so say Stanford, and then I would be there talking you through it, saying this is what to expect today, answering any last minute questions, just easing your nerves before your test. It's a much quieter environment than the DMV, and you can get your license right then and there. You can be driving home that day with some of the new changes, which is great. You do have to bring some information, which you can check out on our website or look at the webinar that I did with our testing manager, Jeff Smith, and you can get some more information about what you need to bring to the test. You do have a couple other options. You can just test at the DMV on your own, where you have to schedule it on your own and do that through the DMV website. Or we can meet you at the DMV if you want to use one of our cars, which that's one big advantage of testing with us, is that you get to use our cars. Our cars never fail inspection. Our cars obviously have no tint. The DMV agents feel a lot safer being in them because they actually have a brake on the side. And generally, the DMV agents are just more comfortable. I mean, every agent in the state at this point has been in our car at least once. So, that is just your best bet, is to use one of our cars to make sure that you are testing that day and you have the best chance to pass. One really quick question. So I got my permit 1 month ago now. I'm about to do the 8-hour class this week. When would I be able to do my driving test? So if you only did the 8-hour class and you didn't do the full course, if you do the 8-hour class, it's 6 months after you got your permit. So if you got it a month ago, which is in August, you'd be able to test for your license in February. But, schedule that license test as soon as possible because, like I said before, there is a long wait for license tests right now. Unfortunately, the DMV is very short-staffed, and it's creating a backlog of the tests at this point. So obviously rescheduling or canceling your appointment, like I just said, license tests are booking out far. So try not to cancel your appointment when you have it. But if for some reason you can't take it that day, just make sure you call us and you'll be put on our list of like top priorities to reschedule. So if anyone, backs out at the last minute, then you can always take their spot in a future test. So that is basically it. Again, if you want more information about each of these individual things, such as, actually getting your permit, we have a permit test webinar that I go over. I literally will take the test with you in there. I even got a couple questions wrong, so it's just goes to show that you need to study. That was a fun one though. I did a poll and I asked people for each question. And then we do a license testing webinar, which goes through what exactly your license test is going to look like. And then we also have navigating your student portal and online classes webinar. So we have all that stuff covered. If any of the things I said today weren't totally clear, you can go in and have any questions answered. But please, I'm going to be here for another couple minutes just answering any questions. I got one right here that said, I got my permit in May 2020. So when would I call DMV? So if you're talking about actually scheduling your license test, you can schedule your license test right now. Whether you did just the 8-hour or the full course, you are eligible to take your license test right away. So I would call the DMV. Well, you wouldn't call the DMV. You have to do it online. That's how you schedule your appointment. Or schedule it with us, and you can call us, or, we'll help you out. Okay, any other questions? Again, I'm going to do a plug of our TikTok. We have an awesome social media coordinator, Mags, who does a lot of great work on there. And, you'll probably see me in a lot of the videos, but, that's a really good place if you're worried about some of the driving maneuvers when you first start learning how to drive. It's a great place that you can learn a lot of different maneuvers very easily. We break it down really nicely and simply. And, kids nowadays love TikTok, so go check us out on there. And again, another plug for Driver's Ed Trivia. We're doing another one next month. We're going to start putting up things in October, so look out for that. We are going to do Driver's Ed Trivia. If you missed out on the first one, join us then, and we'll be happy to help you. So if there are no other questions right now, if I close this out and you have a question, please message us on Facebook or comment on YouTube. We will answer those within either right away or very shortly, probably tomorrow. And we'll answer all your questions that way. You can email us at info@thenextstreet.com. You can call us, but there's a lot of great ways. You can also just go to, if you go on our website, I'll bring that up again. Hold on. I'll bring up the website again. If you're ever just want to chat with us, you just do the live chat right here. As you can see, it pops up. Sorry, I have the Detour thing in the way. So let me actually redo that. So yeah, there's a little live chat feature right here that you pop up, and then you put in your info, and then you would submit, and then we would chat with you live right then and there. So there's a lot of ways to contact us, And yeah, it's not, you don't just have to call, you know. We have another one. When will testing with the next street be available to adult learners? Unfortunately, testing at our locations is only available for people who are 22 or younger. That is a DMV and state policy. That is totally beyond our control. We've been really trying to lobby and make it so we can have all people of all ages test at our locations. Yeah, I really don't know. I know that that's something that especially Jeff, who's our testing team manager, has been really trying to get done, because it's a really great, it's such a good thing for people to be able to take their license test of any age and not actually have to go to the DMV. So look out for that. We will let you know if anything changes, but as of right now, it is just 22 and under students, unfortunately. So yeah, if you missed any of this, the two basic steps are: you get your permit, you'd sign up to the DMV website, you download our free ebook as well as the DMV ebook, you practice, you study for your test, and then you would actually take your permit test. Then you sign up for driver's ed. You do driver's ed at our locations or virtually, and then you do your driving lessons at one of our locations, and then you can test for your license. So please, if you have any other questions, message us on any of our social medias or email us or go on that live chat feature that I just showed you. And that's pretty much it for me. Thank you all so much for watching, everyone who's stuck around. And if you missed any of it, just go back and you can just rewind it immediately. It'll automatically be uploaded to our YouTube and Facebook right after this. And then that's pretty much it. So thank you all and have a great weekend.